Power to Heal, the future of pain relief.
Live streaming has become one of the best ways to connect the funeral of a loved one with friends and family, both local and international. NBC Television will live stream your funerals on television and Facebook at a reasonable rate. With our state-of-the-art equipment, you can be assured that the quality of your funeral will be to your satisfaction. Call our office now and book your obituary and streaming with us. 758-453-7458.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM. The man.
Another wonderful Friday afternoon to you, everyone. It is the 28th day of the month of June, 2024. We really appreciate your sticking with Real FM Radio and NBC Television. And where I'm concerned, especially at this time, the segment 12:30 to 2 for the Real Issues with me, Shelton Daniel, your host and producer. Alongside, for the time being, our station manager, Nigel Nicholas, who's holding on for Alton Jaquan Joseph, our regular technical operator, was running a bit late this morning, but he's expected to come in soon and to allow Nigel to go and have a well-deserved lunch, which will be even more deserved if he decides, to drop off a couple of the packages, and so on, pizza or whatever it is here. For myself, and being charitable today is a good thing because I have a co-host, Miguel Favrier, who happened to be passing by, looked at me, struggling in the heat, felt a little sorry for me, and decided to climb up those steps. So Miguel is seated beside me again today, and I want to thank you so very much, Miguel, for being here.
Thank you.
I hope you've been having a good week so far.
Yeah.
And everything that's been happening.
Just to correct you, I was actually looking for the closest place to relieve myself.
Okay.
I'm not sure I needed to pee. If you saw me running in there.
Okay. So you also decided to pay the toll.
Why not?
To pay the tax, by coming in here. In fact, I was actually joking in the Real Issues chat room when the 2 days this week that I had to be in the Senate, that I said, hey, we'll have to have a certain guy named Butu to be sitting in when I have to be out, for the Senate and so on. And people took it up, with great enthusiasm. They said it's a great idea. But like I have told you, any day that you're not too busy, whether I'm in or whatever, that you can feel free to drop in.
Definitely.
You're a wonderful addition, and we can see in the responses that we get on the program. This is a weekend where we've been told to expect, the possibility of bad weather or something like that we have. In fact, let me just read what the tropical weather outlook at the latest report, which came out on midday from the Met Office. This is what it says. Forecast for the Lesser Antilles. Fair skies becoming cloudy at times with a few showers at first, becoming mostly cloudy with scattered showers, which may be locally heavy and isolated thunderstorms from tonight into tomorrow. Now, let me make sure that, yes, it's the 12 noon weather report. The forecaster is Shema Joseph. Then it says, tropical weather outlook, patches of low-level clouds drifting along a moderate easterly wind flow will cause occasional showery periods over the region during the afternoon. A tropical wave located a few hundred miles east of the Lesser Antilles is moving westward near 12 miles per hour or 19 kilometers per hour. This wave is expected to cause an increase in cloudiness and showers with isolated thunderstorms over the region from tonight. A second tropical wave located over the central tropical Atlantic is gradually becoming better defined with showers and thunderstorms showing signs of organization. Environmental conditions are conducive for further development of this system, And a tropical depression or tropical storm is likely to form later today or on Saturday, while the system moves westward near 12 miles per hour or 19 kilometers per hour. This system is expected to impact our region from Monday. A third, 1, 2, 3, a third tropical wave. So, folks, the activity is picking up. A third tropical wave located over the far eastern tropical Atlantic is moving westward near 17 miles per hour or 28 kilometers per hour. This wave has a low chance of development during the next 7 days. Interest in the Lesser Antilles should continue to monitor the progress of these systems. People, we are just 2 days short of the end of the month of June. The first half of the year is almost over. When we hit Monday, we'll be hitting the 1st of July, so we'll be into the second 6 months of the year. But most importantly, reading this weather report is to remind ourselves that never mind we've had a relatively okay month of June, that we are in the hurricane season, and at some point things are going to start picking up. And as we can see, 3 tropical waves, 3 systems, one, as we would say, in a long time, one behind another, coming at us possibly, and so on. So we have to make sure our preparations. Now we have a little flyer where I think they're giving some kind of advice on what you should stock up on: your water, your flashlights, your batteries, and so on. And it doesn't hurt to have a look at that. But as soon as we're able to get it up, we'll flash it on the screen so you can see. And of course, Nigel is going to tell me what that's like. Miguel, thoughts about the approach of...
Shelton, I was actually going to say, where the weather is concerned, we've seen some consistency with previous years. What you would have realized is that you would have one wave in the Atlantic, then another following right after another. But I may be wrong, but those can correct me. But I believe from discussions that I had, usually when you have that case, the last or the second, they're not likely to form into something major. I think what we're seeing now also, the weather has indicated that we were expecting something. We've seen for the past few days in particular, it's been extremely hot.
Yes.
Like today, I came in here all wet.
That's right.
So that, for the lack of to put it simply, this is actually the result of those systems sucking out all the air and the breeze in the atmosphere. So like you, I like to just advise the public to make sure they stock up on any supplies, because we never know what could be happening. We've seen the effects of a trough, where prior to that, we never really took notice of a trough until December 2013. And that was only the realization that we had, that these things can come with either, in more cases than not, more rain and more water than anything else. So those in low-lying areas, take the necessary precautions. If you have to stock up on the non-perishable items, just in case there may be a break in any utility services. Although Lucelec has been very, they've been on point and on the ball when it comes to their recovery following any severe weather event. So I'm just hoping that we may be spared, which has been the case for more occasions than not, that we may not experience the full brunt of it. And for, of course, the cricket finals tomorrow, we see no adverse effect or any cancellations of the game due to the impending weather condition.
All right, thank you very much for that. And just as it's flashing up on my Facebook timeline right now, let me say good afternoon and condolences to some relatives of mine in Patience, Mico, place that I grew up in, born in Dennery, but in the Patience, Monrepo, La Pointe areas, I was pretty much raised. And I see a relative of mine, Mr. Franklin James, up in No Route, has passed away. Mr. Franklin James is the father of the late Dennis Copra James. Copra's father, yes. He has passed away. And, very well known man, very well liked carpenter in the area of San Well. And so Dennis was a former head of me in school and so on, but we were always quite close, never mind the fights that we had. His sister, a little older, Junior James, who I think has been posting about it. And, there are others, Mrs. Cyrilla James, who was James before her marriage, but after her marriage to the former permanent secretary, George James. Remains a James, of course. Claudius James and Antoine James and so on, one of the older ones. I want to really extend my sincere condolences. His wife, Copra's mother, Miss Petrona, as we all name her, Petrona James, she passed away not too long ago. And so Mr. Franklin going to meet his wife of many, many many years in the afterlife, in the great beyond, and so on. And we wish him Godspeed. Family, really inside of a very interesting place. They reside inside Noke Avenue, inside. Yeah.
These are from the same James family in Derry. So is it Austin James, George James, Austin James?
I don't think they're the same family. I would have been.
I believe George James and Austin James are related.
Okay, George James and Austin James were brothers.
We're brothers, exactly.
So what I'm saying, George James married the daughter of Mr. Franklin James.
Okay.
An older one called Cyrilla James.
So they just had the same James.
So they had the same James before and after,
That's
then
like
Corporal James.
That's like Smiths in Mopo.
Was that?
That's like the Smiths in Mopo.
Yeah, I would have been a James, actually, but for the fact that my mother married a man, Daniel, Gerald Daniel. So my name became Daniel, but on my mother's side, I am a James. So this is why, Mr. Franklin just deceased and so on, but a very well liked man, carpenter, quiet man, not fuss about him and so on. But when I went there as a child to either to carry out an errand or whatever, you knew the few words that he said. He was not a man of many words, but the few words that he said. If he told you to behave a certain way, you knew, to behave. One of those people, they don't make a lot of fuss, but if they tell you move, you just know you have to move. If they tell you stay still, you just know you have to stay still and so on. So Mr. Franklin, has left us, and ordinarily, I would have been chided for calling him Mr. Franklin. That's your cousin, all cousins, so and so. But it never became an issue. Franklin. Yeah, it never became an issue. I believe in the younger years, as a carpenter, a man with woodworking, I vaguely remember. I think he was mostly self-employed, but I kind of think he was one of a lot of those very impressive people who were at a factory called Fine Timbers, which was at Passius and so on. It closed a long time, you won't have known, but Fine Timbers, they actually used to mill wood and boards and posts and so on from trees that they took from the forest heights of Piton, where Pat Joseph has his Piton Springs bottling plant and so on. Back in the day, there was this vast area called Passius Estate, and Passius Estate in the upper reaches and so on. I mean, there were huge trees. Of course, we became conscious afterwards about preservation and all of that. So this is just some of the history that you would associate with people like Mr. Franklin, from the Patience area, which Fine Timbers was part of the industrial and employment and community life of that place. All right. Folks, this morning I was, as I often do, I do it throughout the night and so on, very indisciplined in my sleep and so on. I'm always get up for a leak or whatever, sometimes in the vehicle, reading up on the latest and so on, even dozing off and so on. And I saw first a little video clip showing like what seemed to be a little traffic jam, but I'm looking at it and I'm trying to figure out, but where is that area, sometimes because you've been places, you just spot an image and you link it with somewhere. I'm trying to say, but to me that's not any place in Castries that I know where the neck of a bend is so tight and so on that you can barely, get through and so on. Like Lower Cicero, when you come up the Millennium Highway and you're going up through Cicero, the first little bend there is a little narrow, so you have to watch yourself. But I'm watching, I cannot place it at all. Then I move on from the short video clip, which doesn't say much except that the traffic is backed up. You see a policeman coming, so I say that must be bad. Next picture, a couple of pictures. There's a young man lying face down in the very corner where the traffic jam is. And it is clear that he's lifeless, and people are looking at him, his face down, his head is almost buried in the ground and so on. And I've just been told that it's a apparent homicide that has taken place in the Millet area. Not too sure of it. If there's anything about it out now, maybe you can tell us about it. But I always feel a little sad, especially when we've been through a little period of what seems to be relative calm. And seems is a very strong word at this time, because we know we had those double homicides, in Marsha recently, and then we had in Rodney Bay area and so on. Those killings and so on. I just want to say to our citizenry and to our cops, don't become discouraged, don't become dismayed, don't become, feeling that, oh my goodness, nothing. The mere fact that we are going through what seem to be fairly extended periods where nothing like that happens, I think this is cause for encouragement. I will again say to the Royal St. Lucia Police Force something that I'm sure they know already, but sometimes a little word of encouragement is necessary. I see signs that they are making use of the vehicles, of the motorcycles, of the equipment that they give them. As I drive around late at nights on the police patrols, the checking up on people, even I myself, I tell you, sometimes I doze off, while reading and so on. I happen to have one of those vehicles. I don't know if you can call them the newer vehicles, where the park light never goes off. Okay. Once the engine is on and I'm enjoying some AC, I can have lights switch off as much as I want. There is a pair of lights at the front.
Yeah, because I think that there's a lot of these newer vehicles also come with the automatic sensor where you could turn the light a particular way, so it senses the darkness and the lights will stay on.
Right. Well, one of them, once it is on, the light stays on. You understand? So sometimes they'll see a vehicle there, it's idling, but somebody inside. And a couple of times, cops have come up and have knocked on my window and said, we wonder what's going on. Did somebody die in a vehicle? And I told them on both occasions, I appreciate it very much. As a matter of fact, this is why I parked in this area where I'm sure there is always people and police. Sometimes on Bridge Street.
Not by any beach, no, right?
No, not by any beach.
Just making sure.
Yeah. Nigel like that. Sometimes on Bridge Street, the police is in the Lamar building there, whatever. I will go there, and on 2 occasions, I will be reading, I'll be doing this. You doze off and so on, and they have come and knocked and said, we just want. I told them, look, I know. They said, but why don't you switch off your park light? And I say to them, the park light doesn't go off, and I demonstrate to them that is when you switch off the engine, and that it will go off. And I've asked the dealer if there's anything they can do to turn it on.
No, that's a sensor.
They said, no, that's just the vehicle. Yep. And if you do that, you begin to interfere with warranty and all this kind of thing. So that's just the
because in the daytime the lights are not, or the park lights will not come on if you realize that. Right. So in the night there's actually a sensor.
No, to me once I switch on, it's not park lights.
The dash lights.
Yeah, it's not park light, not dash light. There's that little row of LED type lights and so on. That once the engine is on, they must come on and so on. So I told them, they said okay, they didn't know that and so on, or whatever it is and so on. But this is the good thing about not having anything to hide. Not knowing that you are at peace with the Lord, that you are at peace with, I might even say, although I don't like to sound preachy, at peace with God. When you see you living your life above board, cops stop you and you don't have anything that you're afraid for them to see, you bring down your window instantly, you tell them thanks for checking up on you. No, I was just there reading something. This is a very good kind of life to live. And I'll tell you something. I have not always walked in fidelity to the Christian faith that I profess, to say always, including being by beach and having fellas like Nigel suspect, that I'm up to something. But it is a wonderful thing to be able to do what I think in the Bible, especially in 1 John says, walk in the light. Where you can live a life that is above board, where you hear sirens outside. And apart from being concerned that what may be wrong, you have no fear that the cops is you coming for. And I want to encourage, especially you young people, being able to live that kind of life, a life where you walk in the light, meaning you walk in above board. You don't have anything, again, the Bible says the secret things or the hidden things of shame. But no, it's not shame. It's criminality. We all have things that we probably I'm not proud of. But criminality is what I want to apply this to. To not always be looking over your shoulder. Somebody can walk up to me and shoot me, But I guess it's mistaken identity. I guess it's just pure spite. I guess it's some other beef and so on. But I am sure nobody will creep up to me and do me anything because I'm involved in a gang. Because I have something to do with drugs. I took their drugs. Because this and that and the other. So if anybody kills me, it's either a robbery, is it a mistaken identity, is it a carjacking they want to do on me or something like that. And that is the best way to live your life. But again, to the cops I say, I do not know what accounts for improvements that I think I have seen in the show of biking and other craziness. It's still happening, mind you, but not as much as I used to see it before. I don't know what really accounts for the homicides. Not every week you must hear, 3 people dead or whatever it is. It's still happening occasionally, but not so much. Cops, whatever you are doing, continue to do it. And I hope there are many more people like myself who are cooperative, that if cops pull us over, stop us, we will not get on and behave bad. We'll cooperate with them, actually thank them, actually appreciate it. Because if something had happened to me in that vehicle and the cops came and check on me, it would be a good thing, you understand? Even if it's my seatbelt that they point out to me, so, I ain't going to get on with them. Thank that they didn't decide to charge me for it and so on. But I again say that when we have zero tolerance for crime, zero tolerance, people, let us not just say it. We have to fight criminality across its entire range. We have to go after all the manifestations of anti-social behavior, which is anti-society behavior. And you never know when you pull in a man for a traffic offense to check for his license, his registration, his insurance, those kind of things. You never know what you may inadvertently and unintentionally be interdicting there. You never know what illegal guns are under the seat, what ammunition you will find a clip on a man that they can't give any explanation for, or a barrel, or even if it is an empty magazine, all of that, it's a firearm related offense. You never know which fella you may be pulling in when you do that. So what seem to be the small things that we can't be bothered with, those small things can sometimes lead us to really big things that can be game changers in the fight against crime in our country. Miguel.
Shelton, I want to touch first the point you made about the lull in the activity. For me, I don't believe there actually is a lull. I always believe that, not especially in the situations where you see the retaliations and the gang violence particularly taking place, the lull is more than regrouping. You can almost expect something to happen and some boiling point to reach and some retaliation. Some of them wait to, what revenge being a dish best served cold. And I think that is the opportunity the police should take during that lull to do all their intelligence and try to avert a lot of these things happening, because they don't tell me that a lot of people out there don't know the information coming on, information about things happening.
So sometimes the lull may actually be the phase where things are being planned.
Regrouping, things are planning. So we should not take that for granted.
Right.
And we should not take it for granted. I think this is where the operations of the police force, which I'm sure that the intelligence part of the police force is actively working. But I think that's the opportunity for them to, gather that intelligence and try to avert some of the situations that may be happening. And number two, I think my message is for those involved in that type of activity. I always say I don't want to sleep with one or two eyes open. I want to know when I touch my bed, wherever I lay my head, I'm able to fall asleep and look forward to, God forbid, in anything a natural cause of death or anything happening. I want to look forward to the next day and tomorrow morning. When you live that kind of life, Shelton, there's no guarantee. The next minute, you can leave here now, and as soon as you walk out the door, someone's waiting for you. Yes. You're gone. Yes. It may be retaliation for something you may have done to someone way back, and their relatives finally decide enough is enough. You've been walking around just strutting your stuff like everything is okay, and they retaliate. So at the end of the day, what does it really profit you to have to live that kind of life where you have to be looking over your shoulder all the time? I can't live like that.
Exactly. It's actually quite horrible. And thanks, Nigel, for a little update he sent, a release from the office of the Prime Minister. And maybe while I'm reading it, if you have that flyer ready, that we can just flash it on the screen as well for people. And it says the government of St. Lucia is closely monitoring a tropical disturbance in the central tropical Atlantic. The St. Lucia Meteorological Services has advised that environmental conditions are expected to support the development of this system, and it is likely to become a tropical depression or tropical storm by the weekend. People, let me read that part again. The St. Lucia Meteorological Services had advised that environmental conditions are expected to support the development of this system, and it is likely to become a tropical depression or tropical storm by the weekend, positioned several hundred miles east of the Windward Islands. It's far away, yes, but the associated weather conditions can begin to touch and affect us sooner or later. As a result of the projected weather developments, worsening weather and sea conditions in the Lesser Antilles are anticipated beginning Sunday night. This weather system is forecast to bring moderate to heavy showers, thunderstorms, and gusty winds to our region. Prime Minister Honorable Philip J.P. is advising the general public to make the necessary preparations and review their family emergency plans. The Prime Minister urges everyone to stay informed by monitoring updates and information from authorized sources, namely St. Lucia Meteorological Services and the National Emergency Management Organization, NEMO, as they will provide accurate information and guidance as the situation progresses. All national and local emergency organizations are asked to take note. Members of the National Emergency Management Advisory Committee, NEMAC, are asked to stand by for a possible NEMAC meeting. All right, people, these are things that we have to pay very close attention to. It's been a while since we haven't had any tropical weather system, of that hurricane season. Yeah. And so we are seeing the flyer. Miguel, maybe you can read the points of the flyer saying, be prepared.
Be prepared this hurricane season, yes. 1st June to 30th November. But 1st June, as we've seen in the past, the hurricane season does not exactly last for that short period. It's either starts before or afterwards, as the case we had with the trough, and there were a few floods and everything and storms in following, the start of December. So it says hurricane preparation checklist. Number 1, water, 1 gallon per person per day for 3 days. 2, non-perishable food, enough for 3 days. 3, flashlights and extra batteries. Now remind me to come back to that point. Battery powered radio, a first aid kit, extra medication, copies of personal documents, and cash. On those 2 points about flashlights and extra batteries, I would encourage everybody now who has the means, with the digital economy right now, the online economy, online retail, to do some diversification in terms of the way you power your items, even the type of items you get. You could get the solar powered items. Even for my karaoke, my wireless microphone system, I was able to get USB 9-volt batteries that can charge via USB. I think all these alternatives, including your power packs, these things are helpful in times of those things, because you will not have access to electricity, as efficient as loose select may be. But within that time, that period, while the electricity may be down, you may need to make some emergency phone calls, emergency contact with people. So I would encourage people to make use of those alternative means of powering your items, so that you don't get stuck, because batteries, you may buy batteries in store for the hurricane season. Let's take into account that they've been sitting on the shelves for a while, and they may be sitting in your own personal storage areas for a while. That can discharge by a great amount, by a significant amount between its new period and the time you're ready to use it.
And the next thing, they might also pop inside there with all the humidity that we have, and are worsening the situation.
Yes, so I'll encourage people to look for those alternative forms of powering your items, even your items that may be
the LED, more digital type of thing, and so on.
So that's my advice right now to everyone regarding that.
All right, I have a how you call that, the charging bank.
Yes.
And amazingly, my charging bank has a little LED on it which you can use as a flashlight. So even without charging anything, you can use it.
Most of them do now. I actually have I have 2 of them, and those who are concerned about the amount of power that is given to your phones, that a lot of the new power banks have the ability to fast charge once your phone has that capability.
Yes.
So
you're listening to The Real Issues. We are already due, maybe a couple minutes overdue for our commercial break. Let's take it right now, and when we come back, a few more comments, and the phone lines will be open.
It's Friday, isn't
it? It is indeed. We'll be back shortly. Don't go away.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
McDowell Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene, vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The CDC opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosile Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosile.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
Why are you suffering from aches, pains, and illnesses? When there's help for you at Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatment that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains, and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems, such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild, the power to heal, the future of pain relief.
Live streaming has become one of the best ways to connect the funeral of a loved one with friends and family, both local and international. NBC Television will live stream your funerals on television and Facebook at a reasonable rate. With our state-of-the-art equipment, you can be assured that the quality of your funeral will be to your satisfaction. Call our office now and book your obituary and streaming with us. 758-453-7458.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
For tuning into and staying with the real issues on Real FM 91.3, 91.5, and also we are on Facebook Live. Good afternoon to all of you Facebook Live family who are there, and we are live streaming also on YouTube. Now, there are many things I want to deal with, but sometimes you cannot really deal with them without replaying them, without giving, in order to add context. So usually things that come from United Pack and a certain woman whose name I try my best not to let it even come to my mouth. So I wouldn't even mention. You try to deal with it and it's like you must say, okay, such and such. And then you get the feeling that you are giving time of day relevance to certain people that you really should not. You see them as problem people, people who are, I don't know, the problem child kind of thing. And we all have our faults and our weakness and our defects and deficiencies. But I don't know, it's like some people, they just cannot desist from. But anyway, United Pack. And I have my suspicions that this woman is a key player in what United Pack is doing. Right.
And their pseudonyms and their original names.
Right. United Pack St. Lucia. Breaking news. massive CIP corruption scandal unfolds in St. Lucia, and I'm wondering if the corruption is so massive, it's so glaring, it's so egregious. Why is it?
Is Nestor Alfred's name there, or who was the last minister responsible for CIP? No.
No, well, not in this one. It's McLeod Emmanuel they going after.
But why massive? Why would they go after McLeod for massive corruption when that's existed in the last? The last CEO. Just before you get there, the last CEO. The Prime Minister maybe should speak about his relationship with some Middle Eastern investors and where he was able to source a particular vehicle that he's been driving. But let's go back to the show.
Right. But the contradiction about it is that the corruption is so massive. How can massive corruption be, and yet in the same breath you're saying it's secret, it's undercover, it's lies, they're concealing it, they're fooling you,
and the info is out there.
But at the same time it's so massive. I cannot understand. To me, these two, they don't exist, because if something is so massive and so,
it should be out there.
Exactly. But hear this. New explosive details have emerged about McLeod Emmanuel, who's deeply entangled in a CIP passport scandal that has sent shockwaves across the Caribbean. And this is the kind of hyperbole, it has sent shockwaves across the Caribbean. People are astounded. Corruption CIP, sir. But at the same time, it's lies and cover up and that sort of thing. And I'm saying, okay, what is the shockwaves that a criminal, an ex-convict, a guy who has been to jail called Philip Martinez, decides that he's got some sour grapes, that he's going to launch some kind of lawsuit, and I'm going to talk extensively about this lawsuit thing on another occasion. The stages of how you go to bring in a lawsuit in American jurisdiction. It's not just that you file a complaint and the complaint becomes a lawsuit. There's a lot more involved in that and so on. The guy comes and all of a sudden, our entire self-appraisal, we are being told, must be done on the basis of that guy's threat of a lawsuit. We're in trouble. We're in deep trouble. Our visa-free access board. The sky is falling. On what basis? On the basis of some kind of confusing diatribe and hodgepodge of complaints by a jailbird, an ex-convict, a known fraudster, and this kind of thing. But that is, the scandal has sent shockwaves across the Caribbean. Here's what we uncovered. McLeod Emmanuel has been pocketing a commission of $500 per Galaxy file. Meanwhile, Ernest Hilaire is raking in $1,600 per Galaxy file. First of all, where's the proof of that, number one? And secondly, not talking about Ernest Hilaire, but McLeod Emmanuel, isn't it known that when you give people contracts, part of what you call the perks and the fringe benefits and all those things, even in the United States, you hire a man to be CEO of the company, and sometimes part of his perks are what you call stock options.
Yep.
So you give the man, okay, we'll pay you $1 million a year, but we also will give you, as part of your bonuses, that you will be made a shareholder or you will begin stock in the company. I don't know what McLeod's contract is, but if they tell him to sweeten and to give him incentive to perform, they tell him, look man, the more business you can bring in, we'll give you so and so and so per. If that is part of it, I don't know if it is true. You can't believe anything, the kind of things that are thrown about. I don't know what is so corrupt. And you look at the word they use, pocket. He's been pocketing.
Pocketing.
So you deliberately create the impression that McLeod Emmanuel pushing $500 in his pocket, for every transaction, deal, whatever. Not that it's part of his contract or whatever it is. Now, if my Dr. McDowell brings me and says, Shelton, if you're able to make real issues into a profitable program and so on, for every whatever net of $100 you bring in, 10% will be yours or whatever. I mean, I don't know what is corrupt about that, but they want to frame everything. And I want to find out. I haven't asked McLeod. We haven't spoken in a while. Directly spoken and so on. Whether he has had any kind of run-in with some of the suspect people I have who are behind this kind of thing. Because I know there's a common person to a lot of the people who are being attacked. Thaddeus Antoine, Ernest Hilaire. Lately, I was in the Senate, and to my surprise, somebody's bringing up some history about Castri's Apparel, which was in 1993. 1993, a garment factory that was
remember,
in Bizet and so on that closed down.
Wasn't that? That was next to that place, because that original place.
Exactly where the NSDC and the Mirror and that.
Yeah, but that place that the PM only recently gave the people the severance pay.
All right, Majestic
is right there.
And all of this kind of thing.
Yeah.
Somebody going back to Castri's Apparel, the closure, which was 31 years ago. under a united Workers' Party government that the place closed down. And Castries Apparel was not the only place. There were so many of the factory type, employment areas. There were a lot of them in Viewford, the Hot
Bell Fashions, all these places.
Bell Fashion in Dennery, Hotex and Maston Mills and 209 and Data Delay and Carryman and a whole lot of names of them.
Fly by night industry. A lot of them were fly by night.
Right. And in every case, when they came, almost everyone, they had a problem where either they were owing NIC from unpaid dues for workers or other commitments they had not met. NIC had to be taking court action, legal action, sometimes to repossess their equipment to see if they could sell so that they could make rather money. But then I wondered why you go back about Castries Apparel, how 500 people lost their jobs when hundreds more lost their jobs in the other factory, until I realized Castries Apparel was then managed by Leo Clark. So you now want to go after Leo Clark. 31 years.
She's a bit empty, Well, a bit is being kind of nice, but then from my very first interview with her when she entered the realm of politics, I wasn't impressed, and I continue to be unimpressed, and it continues to grow. That unimpression continues to grow as I listen to her in the Senate.
At the time when UWP was in office, and if I remember, Leo Clark was not yet even with the Labour Party at the time. Leo Clark, I remember, post-79, he was a PLP. If I remember, he was with George Odlum and so on. And guess what happened the very next year after Castries Apparel closed, 1994? UWP, Compton and Odlum had mended their fences so much that Compton appointed Odlum to be St. Lucia's ambassador to the United Nations. And so on. The next time I heard of Leo Clark in politics, he was not even with the Labour Party. He, Matthew Roberts, Calix George, and a few of them formed an organization called the CDP.
The CDP, right? Right.
Citizens Democratic Party. And then they became merged or whatever, with the Labour Party and that sort of thing, and they became. Calix George was the leader of the CDP and so on. That is when I heard George Odlum was selling Pretty with Flambeau. They fell out because they brought in Von Lewis and so on. They didn't have a problem. 31 years later, you want to bring on the problem about companies that close while owing, NIC and so on. Is Castries Apparel you're bringing? And then I thought and I said, I wonder if it's Senator Firapolius on her own who's doing it, or if there is another hand directing things in the background to pursue a personal beef with, one of those men.
They need to shoot they scatter shots, so they try to get somebody to.
And I began to wonder about it. But anyway, this isn't really where I was going to. So they're going after McLeod Emanuel. Hear this. McLeod Emanuel has been pocketing a commission of US $500 per Galaxy file. And again, I cannot be too sure, but I think McLeod Emanuel may have gone through a stint, if he's still not, I don't know, as Deputy General Secretary of the SLP. It would not have been something that would have been known because it was a role not as frontline as the General Secretary. I think so. And, so he was not really in your face, whatever, but I think, I'm subject to correction, that he may have been the Deputy General Secretary, more the quiet, behind the scenes kind of person, while Leo would have been, the upfront kind of person. So all of this thing, you ask yourself, whether there isn't some beef, some grudge against McLeod Emanuel, or whether it's another case where somebody tried to throw themselves at McLeod Emanuel, as they tried to throw themselves at Ernest Ile and Thaddeus Santan, who rebuffed that woman. And so a lot of this thing is about revenge and so on. But I don't want to go there. Meanwhile, Ernest Ile is raking in $1,600 per Galaxy file. If that's true, bring that up. This is a matter for integrity commission. This is a matter for inquiry into Parliament. Don't take it like is a sniper kind of exercise that you from cover, you shooting creep shots, at the man and so on. McLeod's lavish lifestyle is funded by corruption. This is a strong word to say,
lavish lifestyle.
What lavish life? Anyway, he flaunts Louis Vuitton and Prada and enjoys courtside NBA seats with tens of thousands of dollars. Extravagant luxury trips, stays in lavish hotels, and an opulent lifestyle. It's all on display. Now McLeod is constructing a multi-million-dollar mansion in Sunny Acres, and yes, it's all through corruption. This scandal is a stark reminder of the deep-seated corruption within the CIP. Stay tuned for more updates as we uncover the full extent of this saga. You're making all these allegations against a man just like that? You begin to say that the scandal is a stark reminder of the deep-seated corruption. Well, I'm going to tell you, this kind of left, right, and center wild accusations It is a manifestation of hatred, deep-seated
And
hatred.
projection as well.
Exactly. Like, evil thinketh as evil doeth.
Yeah.
You accuse people, call them names. So anyway, I have a few shots of McLeod showing himself in the US at NBA games with his wife and the mother of his two children, twins, one of which it says she was so many months pregnant at the time, and they're the parents of twins, as I am too, you know. I'm a father of twins, McLeod. Well, I have more than the twins, but McLeod, I know, has two children which are twins. And the thing, the information that I got, this is another baseless attack by the UWP surrogates. For the record, McLeod has been attending sporting events, and you can flash the pictures of McLeod, McLeod has been attending sporting events for many years, dating back to before his time at CIP. And I remember the guy at Radio St. Lucia telling me he wants to time his vacation so that he can go,
basketball
to go and watch basketball, and he's really into American basketball. Well, not American basketball, it's basketball anyway. Whatever games, he loves that kind of thing and so on, For the record, he has been attending sporting events for many years, dating back to before his time at CIP. He doesn't drink, smoke, or party. I can attest to that. I can attest to that. But enjoys traveling and enjoying NFL, NBA, and football games. Unknown to many people, McLeod has been in the property business for many years, including owning more than 4 apartments, land in various parts of the country, and the transport business, all before the age of 30. Mm-hmm. This guy is a fellow who's that's why I'm sure they took him. He's an investment-minded person. How do I make this grow into that and so on? And as far as I know, the not party, no drinking, no smoking, and as far as I know, no womanizing from what I can tell. Every time I spoke to this guy, it was about Arifa is the name of his wife. The man is focused on family. He's about his mother. He'll come to talk to you. He don't talk to you about running woman and having chick over there and all of that. And so I'm not putting my hand in fire. Every man has his little, ways that he... But if a man is an investment-minded man at a very young age in his life, that's the kind of thing you go in and write about a man, because he goes to American basketball games, that means his corruption is doing,
I've always admired and envied McLeod to the extent that he has really done well for himself. He's always been a very focused young man.
Yes.
And he's not the ferocious, the ones that you find out there showing off this and that. McLeod is just straight. You can't, if you know him, you see him, you can't help but admire him. Yes. Just as a man.
Very much so. Very, very family kind of oriented guy and so on, Focused on his Christianity, on his family, on his this, and a sociable person. Yes, he will meet you in a sociable setting. He'll have his glass. You can make sure it is maybe a non-alcoholic cider or soda or whatever he'll have. He'll nurse one glass in his hand for how long, but the guy does not drink, and no scotch, and no nothing going on. Never see him with a cigarette or anything of that kind. But he's not the kind of aloof person who, because he'll keep himself. He'll socialize, but he knows his limits in it and so on. He's very health conscious of what he eats and all this kind of thing and all of that. And I'm saying, why are you going after? Simply because the man is working in an organization, an agency that the minister over it is Ernest Hilaire. That's all, You want to go after him and so on, because certain of the other people in there, you may have had some disappointment from them at some point, which maybe was due to your own ill-advised, unwise, overtures in your life and so on. You're trying to destroy a young man like that. But here's another thing which has come out. There's a report that talks about McLeod Emanuel's and his performance at the CIP. CEO Emmanuel, that's a Channel 24 report. CEO Emmanuel works to make CIP St. Lucia enticing option for HNWIs. My name is HNWIs. The steps taken by the unit have increased the CIP's demand among the high net worth individuals. That's what it is. Who are looking to spend their lives in a peaceful and luxurious environment after they retire. St. Lucia. The head and CEO of the Citizenship by Investment Unit of St. Lucia, McLeod Emanuel, is working hard to make the CBI program an enticing option for HNWIs, against that high net worth individuals, looking for a safe and stable environment. He has taken many important and proactive steps to benefit the CIP St. Lucia. The steps taken by the unit have increased the CIP's demand among the high net worth individuals who are looking to spend their lives in a peaceful and luxurious environment after they retire. In a very short time, the country has placed itself among the top 3 citizenship by investment programs. The program was launched in 2016 and is one of the youngest to venture into the CBI market, yet it has positioned itself firmly among the top-rated experts. McLeod Emmanuel and his team have worked diligently to bring the program to par with the best in the industry. St. Lucia has also successfully transformed its CBI program into the most sought-after alternative for several HNWIs, giving them the chance to upgrade their lifestyles for better. It is to be noted that the alternative citizenship of St. Lucia comes with various benefits for the investors, including stability and security, means and options to expand their businesses, along with new markets and more. Moreover, St. Lucia is one of the fastest growing CBI programs in the world and is considered among the best programs. Reaching at such a point in less than a decade since its launch shows the dedication of the CIP team. Under the leadership of CEO Emmanuel, the dedicated team is working to keep and enhance the program's overall integrity to align it with the requirements of its investors. The CEO also strives to establish the program as the best in the industry for the investors looking to change their lives for better. These aspects are attracting people from across the globe who are enjoying the friendly communities, a favorable investment climate, and a luxurious lifestyle in St. Lucia. I don't know. All of a sudden, it's Ernest Ile at all cost, Thaddeus Antoine at all cost, Lon Theophilus at all cost. Who else? It seemed like they're really going after now, and of course,
the Arnolds, even after the Arnolds.
The Arnolds, and of course now McLeod Emmanuel, they're going after the young man at all costs.
Just because he's a part of that, and funny enough, I think I can probably say that the McLeod is probably closer to the Prime Minister than he is to Ernest.
Okay, I didn't even know that.
Knowing his history and everything like that. So for them to even do that, it just tells you that it's a level of desperation on their part. And what really gets me is that they are so dense, they are so daft. They know that their identities, their respective identities and management of those pages, it's no longer a secret. Even though some of them may come in and post under different
have we been scrolling those pictures of McLeod? Thank you very much, Jaquan. By the way, folks, Jaquan is back with us in the second half hour. Nigel, thanks very much for holding things for the first half hour for us. Jaquan has come in and he's again at the controls.
They don't understand. It's just so easy to get their identities and to take legal action against. So they will continue with their reckless behavior.
Yes.
But it will catch up. Like this fool called Yali show this morning says, "Turn will come." Their time will come.
All right.
And we just got a note saying there are two things. He said, a friend, he and Aretha are high school sweethearts. They together from Hess.
Okay. Oh, you see. But the only reason why I know about Aretha is when one day talking, McLeod told me that Aretha is the daughter of a lady from Dennery who I knew very well, and I didn't know and so on. Well, a lady and a gentleman from Dennery. Aretha's father used to be my bus driver as a youngster leaving Dennery to come to school, and so on, So I got to say, oh my goodness, okay, so you have a connection with the village of my birth and this kind of thing and so on. Modest person, just like her husband. McLeod Emmanuel has had an impeccable work history. I first knew from what he told me, he started he was at Lucilec in an executive position and so on, of great respect. I always
young, in his 20s.
Yeah, and I say, you left that to come to Radio St. Lucia, and he sees coming to radio as a challenge. In other words, Lucilec is a well-established company. Everything is in place. He just has basically to fit into into the mold that's there and so on. But coming to Radio St. Lucia, it's a place that is struggling, and he saw that as, a place to come and make a difference. And the guy left, Lucilec, where everything is set up from your perks and your pension and your retirement fund and everything, to come to a Radio St. Lucia, simply because he had that kind of, that he can, and he made a big difference, for a young man like that. Okay, they did what they did, and McLeod stayed at Radio St. Lucia right till the end, even after all the things the guys were doing to shut down the place. McLeod never skipped. He stayed and saw the process leading to the winding up of Radio St. Lucia. Right, he could have skipped, I'm sure. He never skipped. He stayed there right to the end, showing his commitment, even after the government changed. And they were not to think, and I think they had respect for him.
Broadcasting, they did.
Right.
Now
Then he went to get a job at Flu, I think.
Yes, he was at Flu for years. He was not the country man. He was
It was a high executive position.
Yeah.
Again, from everything I've been able to deduce, at Flow, impeccable again, nothing about the man. You know, he gets an offer to police to come and run because they know his mind towards investment, his capabilities, his experience, and the rat resume he would have built up from Lucilec to RSL to Flow and so on to come back. He leaves the comfort, what I'm sure is the relative comfort of an executive position at a company like Flow, to go back into the CIP and so on. You know, you know,
be appointed
exactly.
by the government of the day.
You know, you're trying to make it look like this guy who has no track record of any crookedness in him. You're trying to come and say the guy is crooked.
You know the next thing they're going to say, because they're going to capitalize on what you just said there now and say, well, these companies didn't have the propensity for corruption, so he went into somewhere where he can make a fast money. Just watch Flubbo is going to do that. Now, Carlton made a comment. Carlton, I don't think I agree with you on that. He's saying some of the people in top positions need to stop posting about their lifestyle. They are giving the Flubbos ammunition for their wild allegations. Yeah. Are you going to suppress who you are? If I love going to bars or whatever it is, am I going to, and if that's part of my being, may post a picture or whatever, I'm going to stop enjoying my life because of a bunch of lowlights?
A man wanting to go and watch a basketball game in the States.
And he always says that, what does it cost you to watch a basketball? You're talking about 10,000. Like,
but even if it does, you know, did it take anybody's money to do it, whatever, and so on, that you go in on the man's Facebook page and pick up something about his travels and to use that as evidence that he's living an opulent lifestyle, blah, 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 blah. I mean, come on, people. Let's have something about $10,000 a night. You know?
Thank you. A man who was not even in government hosted an entire party, a concert with Third World and whoever on state funds. His own private fete on state funds. Nothing for that. Yeah. Right. So why are they going to that? We spent how many millions building a road for my new name for him is 2 Acre King.
Yeah, 2 Acre King.
You know, on state funds to facilitate a horse racing track that is right now a white elephant in VA4.
Yes.
And nothing for that, but they're going to go after a man whose record speaks for itself.
Yes.
Shasta's record speaks for itself too, you know.
Yeah, you know.
And the rest of them is going the other direction.
Yes.
You know, so I think they should get off McLeod's, and if I should use that term, Shelton may not use DICK. Please, Alan and the rest, get off McLeod's DICK and try to present yourselves as a formidable opposition or something somebody can look to as an option to you know, for the next election. Shelton is up 133. I'm not sure if your callers
there's a comment with someone. I'll just read it and we'll go for the break and then we'll come back for the calls. This is what the UWBs are afraid of, and that is with reference to the story that I read about, you know, how McLeod is doing well with the CIP. This is what the UWBs are afraid of: a growing CIP that will secure the victory for the government of the day. This article came out, on May 3rd, 2024, and days later, a convicted fraudster tries to implicate St. Lucia in a dispute with St. Kitts. Dirty politics. So they're saying, look at this article bigging up McLeod. It came out on the 3rd of May, 2024. And next thing you know, the whole Martinez thing. So it's like, you know, we have to knock some wind out of your sails. We have to bust your bubble. We have to, you know, this is the whole thing that's going on there.
What I was actually thinking, but this makes more sense to me. It could be a matter of both. I think there's a fear and that the corruption within the CIP when they were in government has been exposed already, or maybe it has the special prosecutor, but there's a fear that all the wrongdoings that they did is finally going to come to light. So they're starting to distract early.
Yeah.
They, you know,
with the 3-year anniversary coming up soon and so on. Yeah,
exactly.
You know?
So you're trying to distract early. Now, again, I trust the Prime Minister and his cabinet, but I don't want to see a repeat of 2011, where you saw the Town and Village Council report and we saw no action on it.
Yeah.
I understand the work of the special prosecutor and that thing, but as we're approaching 3 years, you need to be very careful that it doesn't appear that way. I know this is not the case, but then they're going to capitalize on that and say, well, elections coming now, they're coming with all kinds of allegations. Although they know and we know that it's all true.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that we can get at least a statement. We've already seen the statement on the appointment. We can get a statement as to where it can be vague because you don't want to give out any details on the investigative process and everything.
Right.
But at least let us know that the special prosecutor is already at work. And if they're able to give us a timeline as to when we may start seeing things filed before the courts, at least let us know whichever department, because remember that's still in the DPP,
Yes.
in the DPP's office, so there's still a level of independence where that is concerned.
Okay.
So maybe the special prosecutor can give us an update too, like the DPP just did after Shasta.
Right, maybe. Yeah, we'll wait and see. This is the Real Issues. Don't go away. We take a break. When we come back, we promise you this time, the lines will be open and we'll be reading your messages on the Facebook Live and the WhatsApp as well.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
McDowell Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene of vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The CDC opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop, opposite the Grosile Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosile.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
Why are you suffering from aches, pains, and illnesses? When there's help for you. At Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatment that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains, and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems, such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild, the power to heal, the future of pain relief.
Live streaming has become one of the best ways to connect the funeral of a loved one with friends and family, both local and international. NBC Television will live stream your funerals on television and Facebook at a reasonable rate. With our state-of-the-art equipment, you can be assured that the quality of your funeral will be to your satisfaction. Call our office now and book your obituary and streaming with us. 758 453 7458.
The man, the voice, Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM. The man.
Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with the Real Issues of today, Friday, June 28th, 2024. We have our first caller. Good afternoon. Hi, good afternoon to you.
And good afternoon to my friend Miggs.
Good afternoon, my brother.
Shelton.
Yes, my friend.
Ladies just get married.
I'm not. You kind of. There's a
when ladies just get married.
When ladies what?
Ladies. When ladies just get married, you have a special way of talking and raising their hands.
Say again.
Okay. Shelton, you with me?
No, as if there was a little disturbance in the sound. So start from here.
Okay, so you with me now?
Yeah. Restart. I was with you all the time.
Okay, when ladies just get married, you have a special way of speaking, the way that they would raise their hands, their fingers. So their friends would be able to identify that there is something on that finger.
Okay.
You know your colleague that is in the studio with you, you know the way he's speaking now, you can read into it that he's a newlywed.
Well, he's not.
So I want to wish him all the best.
He's not.
But the man is denying that. How you could come and accuse the man of hanging himself?
No, the way I see him swinging his left finger there, you know.
No, I use my left hand. I'm ambidextrous. I'm ambidextrous, you know, and you'll find me using my hands.
And I have to say that this thing that we see on the finger, it's on a particular finger, you know.
Yeah.
That finger that it is on, that is called.
It can be explained, but when it happens,
that is called the wedding finger. You know, the one in the middle is called the engagement finger, but that's the wedding finger.
Don't worry, Gaspar. When it happens, that you will know. It's not too long from now, but you'll know.
I hereby appoint you to do some investigations.
Yeah, big blessings upon you, my boy.
Go ahead, bro.
Maclaude Emmanuel is not just a friend to me, you know. And I will be that lone voice in the wilderness that will stick my neck on a block to defend his integrity, you know.
You're not alone, Gaspar. I would too.
And he is a brother in Christ. Maclaude Emmanuel is a born-again believer that attend the gospel preaching church, okay, where high ethics are being upheld. And let me tell you something. The only reason why Maclaude Emmanuel is a target of the opposition is because he's a friend of Philip J. Pierre.
Okay.
That is the reason why they're after him. And Shelton, Philip J. Pierre, a man of high ethics, high standards, high morals, high integrity, you think he will just put anybody to run that CIP?
Thank you.
Huh?
That's right. That's right.
You think he will just pluck off somebody from the sky to make him look bad? Such a sensitive component as the CIP? You see, Maclaude Emmanuel, under whose leadership Sanusha was rated number 3 in the world. Who was the CEO? Miguel.
Yeah, it was Maclaude.
Who was the CEO?
It was Maclaude. And
Who
but
was the CEO?
like Shelton just mentioned, I'll ask that question. Who was the general manager who was able to take Radio St. Lucia out of the financial doldrums?
And these guys are just there to just try to crush you, to break you, to obliterate you. The same way that they try their best to destroy Miguel. Destroy him as a budding and a mature journalist. But Miguel is still standing today. And I want to say to McLeod Emmanuel, stand your ground in the name of Jesus.
All right, he has enough backer. He has enough backer. Trust me.
You know? And Shelton, stay in prayer. Stay in prayer, Shelton.
Yes.
Jaim, Yadi, Richard Frederick, and all the staff members, Miguel, stay in prayer because the enemies are seeking to destroy. Have a blessed day.
Yes.
You as well, my brother.
Thank
Have a
you
good
very
weekend.
much. Thanks. 724-7325, the number that you can WhatsApp call us on. Yes, the mobile number 758-724-7325. WhatsApp call us on that, especially if you're overseas and you want to make that call, you can do so. And you can also reach us on 4533-911, our studio direct landline number. Do we have a call on the line? We sound like we have more than one. Good afternoon. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Hello, good day, gentlemen.
How are you doing?
Good day, caller.
Yeah, I'm good. Miguel, what's up?
I'm good, my brother. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm there holding on.
All right.
Man, these guys, hour. How did you say book sala, monsieur? No can you find sorti by sinam sala, I mean, these guys are not stopping at anything. They have to, it's dirty politics. And I always say that it's just distraction as an act of desperation. It's just distraction all the time with these guys. Yes, because they don't find anything. They don't find anything, so they have to create something. They have to find something and make things up. I mean, but you know what? Let them carry on. Let them carry on, because it will cause their own demise. Because like they say, whosoever dig ever pit, they shall fall in it. So the same hole, the same pit they're digging for McLeod Emmanuel, they're the same one that will fall in it. Okay then, enjoy the rest of your day.
You as well, my brother. You as well.
All right.
You know, with all Alan Chassie talking about all this racism thing, I realize now the surrogates are now starting to do this roundabout thing where Garfield Oliver is now talking about the opportunities that they get overseas and trying to paint St. Lucia as a backward country.
Yeah,
We need to be careful of this.
We have more calls coming in. Let's take them. Hi, caller. Good afternoon. Real issues. Hello.
Yes, good afternoon.
Yeah, hi. Good afternoon, Maria. Long
Maria,
time I
good
haven't heard from
afternoon.
you.
But I'm here. What do you expect?
Yes, and how are you doing? It looks like your phone has a problem because it doesn't like overseas call.
It's not my phone. It's only when Miguel is here nowadays you want to call and so on.
You're right.
Call Miguel.
You said from DNA with Alan.
Jealousy, huh? Selva, I'm hope la pani pia Saj in charge of your station because ukai to appear wait ukai don't me and don't sell yourself. Anyway, go ahead.
It's okay. Mix is our mix, man.
All right, d'accord. Go ahead.
Yes, let me say something to you. We must never underestimate Alan.
Never.
Alan will do anything to get to where he wants to get. He has no bananas for fun, no more jelly nuts for European country, no more this for sale, no more free visa, no more chin-chin, and the list goes on. Whatever he has to do, he will do, but I don't know what he will do to him. He has to get a way to put him down. I don't know the sort of woman that he had and he was a woman, but something does not add up. Alan alone that can tell us. But I have to tell solutions on Yan. Alan is not gonna. I have never seen no country in government lose, opposition take over, and he keep campaigning for the next election. So that shows you how much desperation that's in there. We must keep our back. We must be high on our back. Because I'm telling you, It will not go down this. Have a good day, Sheldon. Mix.
My darling, have a good weekend.
Okay, Maria. Till next time when Miguel is here. Okay, I know I wouldn't hear from you again before that. Bye bye. Have a nice weekend. All right. Do we have another call on the line? Hi. Good afternoon. Real Issues. Hey, what's up, Bernard?
Yes, Bernard.
Bernard, when you calling us, you have to get out of the tunnel. I suspect you're working in a tunnel these days, but go ahead.
You heard me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you now, for now. Go ahead, I'm hearing you.
Stay in prayer, not stay in prayer. Okay. So, the other thing is, Shelton, I have known Dr. Onesile for a while. Nobody has to tell me about Dr. Onesile. And I will say this. Shelton, when I was in the National Youth Council, the National Youth Council, Dr. Onesile was the person who set me out, who sent me out of the island. The first time I went on a plane was Dr. Onesile who sent me out to a to Caribbean Federation of Youth Activity. Okay? And from there on, every year, Shelton, every year there was Caribbean Federation of Youth Activity in an island. Dr. Onesile sent me out to learn. One day I remember there was a youth camp at Grand Riviere in the valley. And Dr. Onesile, I was misbehaving one night, and Dr. Onesile pulled me aside. Shelton, the gentleman gave me one lecture. And from that day onwards, I tell you, this man became my role model. Look, if I know who Dr. Onesile is, Shelton, this guy has no tolerance for nonsense, no tolerance for corruption, for misbehavior. Okay? Dr. Onesile spoke to me that night, that lecture, and I think that lecture kind of changed my life, Shelton. Because that lecture, I could tell you, when I left the camp, I would person, and it was about 10 o'clock in the night, when he pulled me over. And he told me, Canadians, you are representing the young people of Soufrière. You brought them here. You are in charge of them. You know you have to be an example that when these young people see you, that they too will know that you came to do something positive. You will be depositing good and positive things in their lives. And your behavior at this time does not say that. You need to settle down and make that camp worthwhile. Shelton, when I left there, and you could have seen it in his face, that was coming from his heart. And thereafter, all the work that I did with National Youth Council, with Dr. Onesile, walking out to places overnight, we didn't have vehicles, but we were walking out to districts to meet young people to do work for the National Youth Council. Shelton, this guy imparted a lot in me. I could tell you, nobody can come and tell you about Dr. Onesile. What the government, the opposition right now is trying. If St. Lucians really knew who Dr. Onesile is, well then, they will not believe Alan Chasney. Not even the people that support Alan Chasney will believe Alan Chasney, if they know who Dr. Onesile is. Because Dr. Onesile is not that person who will get himself entangled in any form of corruption, in any form of misbehavior, in any form of things that is not right. I could tell you that much. They say don't put your hands in fire for people, but that one I could tell you, I will stand up for him, Shelton. That's what I have to tell you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thanks a lot, Bernard. Appreciate that. Miguel will do justice to the real issues. Pity he's no longer a reporter, or else the opposition would not get away with their lies. That's from Mr. Victor Girard. Thank you very much, Mr. Girard.
Good afternoon to Mrs. G as well.
Good afternoon. Greetings to you, Mr. Girard, and do have a great weekend. He has another message where he says a crooked man always looks with suspicion at others' actions, particularly if the other person is in a position which he once held. It couldn't be more true.
Right.
All right. Now, someone has suggested that we ask for some extra time today, Jaquan. Will that be possible after we come back from the Lotto? Yes, we'll be having some extra time post 2 p.m. today, folks. So you can just make up your plans that will be keeping you company, and you'll be with us a bit longer. We have a call on the line, don't we? Hi, caller. Good afternoon. Real Issues.
Good afternoon, Shelton. How are you doing?
I am doing okay. How about you? Hello. Yeah, Cornelia, we're sorry about that. I'm told that an electronic device that we use to patch the calls from the phone to the on-air, that it kind of malfunctioned. Okay. Taking direct calls. So let's take this call. Yeah, hi, good afternoon. Real Issues. Hello. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon, Forward Line. Yeah, good afternoon, Forward Line. Makatanu, now we bono.
Good afternoon, my darling. Good afternoon, Forward Line.
Après, papa, mon Dieu, Forward Line. Je me dis tout ça qui est bon. Moi, ça me l'a mon malade. Donc, toute la terre, 4 semaines, tout le monde qui est mes Forward là. Et ma quoi, papa, bon Dieu, moun qui aime Forward là comme ça. Ça qui a eu même manière, because moi, j'ai toujours fait some flop de gari, moun n'a fait plus de bien, là. C'est lui qui a pris high. But I believe that way. And by the grace of God, and I do Sheldon, tout ça me a joué à la vie, mais personne n'a vu le plage, la prière, million vivre là, en Sophie. It is by grace you have been saved through faith. Utan, Ephesians chapter 28, Kilalem. Utan sangadula, it is by grace you have been saved through faith. Avec moi toujours qu'a dit, si pas depuis la foi, avec bon Dieu moi ça m'a fait seulement à get bénédiction moi pour lui. Mr. Sheldon Daniel, c'est pour ça once I was lost, me had you. And now I am found because me de ha oule ou chose me do ko ha. Si for me a te mo de me de sorti me de kay penser me de kay descendre dans canal là. Et man qui va canal là love me transit level for love me. Il est capable de venir garder qui moun qui te là, il va am témoin. Il te o moun sa pen ka oule. Il va il ba chete moun na. Et il vient garder qui moun ek forward qui te là. Stop qui a pour moi go ha. Bois droite moi inacté de gauche là-bas derrière. Et pour me doit manger tout comme me me still like 63 years ago. Ou pas moun ça c'est disciple papa mon Dieu. Papa mon Dieu will love me. Vin sauver. So moi content mon carte de la paix oui. Ça qui a eu moi n'a payé papa. Ça on a dit couler à laver Dieu puis moi. Bouchio, lang la kadida Bouchio puis ça vous qui ça va faire puis Mr. Sheldon Daniel, I love you all program. Moi déjà il y a bien mais la terre. Love fast forward. Thank you very much.
Merci un peu aussi Forward là nous même qu'on aime nous et puis nous ca souhaiter bénédiction bon Dieu et puis tout bail qui bon la paix bonne santé et puis passer un bon week-end aussi.
Of course.
Now, I think the time is approaching for us. We might soon have to break for the Lotto, but don't forget we're getting some extra time today. So we'll be coming back after the Lotto to wrap up. Migs, are you seeing any noteworthy comments on the Facebook Live that you want to highlight or something?
Someone asked after Bernard's call, asked whether Bernard Haynes is a community activities. You remember that? You know that joke? Well, there was this show called Spit on It. Was it Spit on It, Speak on It by the former one of the EWP people. And instead of saying community activists, she says a community activities, which was kind of Freudian. In my opinion, it's a Freudian slip. But let's leave that there.
One that told a lot. We have a call on the line. We are wrapping up now for the Lotto, and then we'll come back to take some more calls and read out some of the comments we've been getting.
Forward, double daily grand. 1, 2, 4, 22. Big 4, 8, 6, 2, 2. Big 4 multi-X, 2X. Pick 2, 8, 3. Pick 2 multi-X, 2X. 1 off, 6, 7, 9. Lucky 3, 6, 4, 0. Lucky 3 multi-X, FP.
Now back to our regularly scheduled program. The man, the voice. Your hero is back.
Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with The Real Issues on extended time, extra time today. Shelton Daniel, alongside Miguel Favre, co-hosting with me today. Jaquan having taken his position from Nigel at the first hour. Nigel has returned because, the excitement of the program was too much for him. He was out to lunch already. He left the lunch. He left the food on the table.
I thought he said lunch was on him.
He came back, He came back to the studio again because, things nice and hot inside there. We have another call on the line. Good afternoon. Real Issues.
Shelton.
Hello.
How you doing?
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
How are you doing?
Good. You love Miguel's company, don't you?
Absolutely. Why not?
Shelton, let me just tell you something. Do you remember Crooked Hillary and Sleepy Joe?
Yes.
Trumpian in nature.
Yeah, Sleepy Joe.
So you see what is happening with Alan Shastney. Of course, people, they liken him onto Trump. They call him Tropical Trump.
That's it, just for the record.
Every time you see Donald Trump wants to do something, he accuses somebody else of doing the same. Who was falling asleep at the courthouse? He's not calling Biden Sleepy Joe anymore. And also, he's not calling anybody else crooked. Who has been found crooked more than anybody else? Anyone who wants to be president or who's been president. Because he has even found himself guilty of all those charges. So who is more crooked? So we have the tropical Trump right here. And he accuses his detractors of doing things that he himself knows before they accuse him of doing them. That's all I want to say.
Call them names before they call you. Thank you very much, caller. Appreciate that insight. Yes.
Before we continue, I have a question for Alan Shastney, though. These days I like to address him. There's a situation that he may know about. I'm sure he pretty much knows about it. I remember Halcyon, the Halcyon Hotel, close to his father's property. Do you remember the death of a swimmer at one point due to a boat in that area?
I remember there was a boating accident there, some boating
It was one of his father's boats.
I see,
I think Alan should ask who was captaining that boat or who was piloting that boat that caused the death of the individual. And there are many people who know. I'm sure he knows who. So, Mr. Shastney, can you tell us who was piloting that boat that resulted in the death of a foreigner?
Especially if you want to go back 31 years to Castro's apparel and all those kind of things and so on.
Thank you.
All right.
Any calls you want then?
Yes. All right, so maybe we can look at our Facebook Live. I don't know. I know you were going through it.
But that is right when he said. But now Biden is Sleepy Joe. Did you happen to catch it? Well, you didn't because you were on air. But I saw a lot of comments from the debate last night, and with all his lies, the general view is that Trump may have outdone Biden or may have won the debate just based on Biden's apparent unawareness of where he was.
Okay.
I think the senility is really catching up to him.
Okay. Someone sent a message to me on WhatsApp, said, Shelton, this lawyer you're talking about, wasn't he a Flabo supporter at one time? Just asking, you don't have to answer on air. And if they are talking about, I don't know, the chairman of the CIP who recently stepped down, or announced he was stepping down, Lon Theophilus.
Lon was one
in
of
fact, he was
those,
even tapped to be a candidate for the UWP at some point. Then he saw something was not right there with them and so on. And Lon Theophilus, they're trying to make a big deal about his resignation. Lon Theophilus told me, and I said so on this program, because it's not I picked it up somewhere. He told me he's stepping down because he has clients who are doing business with the CIP as agents or whatever and so on, and he didn't think it was ethical for him to continue being the chairman of the CIP board, and he's representing clients who have applications before
Shelton,
that board.
It's called a conflict of interest. Almost like it's like the foreign affairs minister having a passport covering office inside the immigration.
Answer that call, yes.
Passport covering business inside the passport office.
Ron Theophilus was very open about it. He said, look, as the chairman of the CIP board, I'm a lawyer. I have people who I am representing in business and applications for citizenship and so on. You know, before the CIP, I cannot be on the board and at the same time.
And you know what? Lon doesn't need that position.
Yeah, and this speaks to a principled man. We have a call on the line. Hi, good afternoon. Real Issues. Hello.
Yes, Shelton, it's me.
Hi, caller. Are you there?
The signal dropped or
Hello?
something. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, hearing you now. Go ahead.
Yeah, the signal dropped on the call earlier.
No, I think I announced, but maybe you couldn't hear on the radio where we said that the device that connects the call to the on-air and so on, it temporarily malfunctioned just when your call came in. But we have it fixed now.
All right.
Yeah.
I will have to confer with my lawyer regarding this. I suspect that's sabotage.
It was a courtesy. We gave you time to recollect your thoughts and make sure you have it right.
You see you, they say he was a Chinese and he was killed by Fong. But you see you, Miguel, you're short. Just remember that.
Only when standing up. Go ahead.
And then, yeah, you say that a lot. But I see, you advertising that left-hand a lot since gas was spoke. You advertising that left-hand a lot. But Shelton, I called to speak on the attitudes, but then I do that all the time. These guys just keep talking there all over the place, trying to find a reason to regain the reins of power because they cannot handle not having access to our money. But the caller before you was speaking about what transpired with Lon Theophilus, and it looks like the opposition is trying to use Lon's resignation as a reason to hang on to CIP. But it goes to show that Lon Theophilus has some measure of
integrity,
ethics in him. Okay? Whether as a lawyer, a human being or whatever, but he is ethical and he did the ethical thing to resign. Now, even with his resignation, when whatever comes out, whenever the transaction happens, they could still going to say it's because he was chairman. Another very critical point. Lon Theophilus was flubble before he swung over to Labour.
Like you.
Okay? He was flubble.
Like you.
But one thing that must be noted, when somebody from the Labour Party removes themselves as members or supporters of the Labour Party and swings over to the United Workers' Party, it's about them because they're the ones starring. Guy Joseph was Labour. When he moved over to Flabo, who really did the impact financially and otherwise? The other one, what's the name of the company down there in Roseau?
Thief Money,
he was Labour.
Oh, Mongrel, okay? Thief Money, Mongrel.
Yes, he was Labour. He moved over to Flabo. Who benefited? Who benefited? Look at all of them. But those who moved from United Workers' Party to Labour are about the people and country. Make the difference. Make sure that difference is noted. That's not the word I'm looking for, but for some reason I think I'm hungry. My vocabulary is failing me now. But we have to recognize the difference in human beings when they're more about themselves than they are about country. When they're more about themselves than they are about people. They don't care about people. Only now they realize they need the people, because they need the people to push them into power. But that ain't gonna happen. That is not going to happen. Rest assured, next election, Shelton may have to go back to the country where he's a product.
Oh, I personally am going down to Miku Salva to ensure that doesn't happen.
Oh, Miguel,
Darling.
I didn't get the wedding cake, eh? Bye-bye.
Because there's no wedding to have cake for. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure why everyone is on that day.
You see that ring? It looks to me like for the next how many days is questions about it you answer.
If anyone knows me since college, I've always worn rings there because through basketball this finger got swollen. And it's a bit difficult. But you know, I want to say something regarding that. Trying to remember what she said, what Cornelia said that struck me, but there's a caller, so maybe I'll remember in my closing.
All right, let's take that call. Let's hope we can patch it in.
Yeah,
quickly.
I was trying to remember something, but then it's
because she's mixing it up with so many other things, you know.
Yeah.
Come right after listening to you last night and on Real Issues. Last night I co-hosted Can I Help You? And on Real Issues too, I have just found a teacher to teach me some big word. You send me to the dictionary every time. That's not a good thing, you know. That's not a good communication skill, you know. Once you're sending people to the dictionary, it means your communication isn't flowing as smoothly and effectively. Hi, caller, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon to your guests.
Yes.
Good afternoon, caller.
Okay, let me tell you. Matlan Emmanuel, while so much is being said about him, this man is living his life, he's enjoying his life with his family, and he's not bothered. That's the first thing they need to realize. When you will say something about him, I believe that is true. In terms of all the corruption, the foolishness they're talking about them, maybe it might bother him. But for now, I don't think nothing is troubling this gentleman. Now that's one. The other thing that bothers me, honestly, is the foolishness people like Shelton and these men with all those lies, all these stories they're coming about. Shelton realized he doesn't stand a chance again. Fede realize, Spider, all of them, these guys know they're out and they're out for good. They have no shame at all. But what really bothers me, Shelton, is the St. Lucians that is following these guys with all their foolishness.
Thank you, God.
The St. Lucians that is accepting those lies. The guys that are actually trying to bring down this country that is beginning to make progress. We are getting somewhere today. We on the map because they cannot talk about corruption at all in St. Lucia. We have these men coming now and talking about corruption, linking us, linking our politicians, linking our government. You know, and we have St. Lucians, brother, actually accepting that. That's the worst thing, you know. When you see lies, people talking lies about you, and you have people supporting that. And look at the people, you know, St. Lucians like ourselves that are doing that. My brother, I wish you would take time out to realize the foolishness that's going on. And Shelton and them who have no shame, they know for sure they're out. And they will be out there in the wilderness for a long time. If Flambo ever rise again, brother, they will come with a new breed of men. As long as people like Shelton, Dominic Fede, and all this kind of foolish fellas they have around this place, man, Flambo are getting nowhere. Thank you very much, sir.
All right, thank you very much. Thanks.
I think we should be closing up.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if there's anything you want to do.
I just remember what I wanted to say. I was Bradley. Remember the bill regarding the pensionable age, the review, the amendment to the Pensions Act.
Yeah, we can cap the calls now because we'll be winding down. Go ahead.
The amendment to the Pensions Act. I was sat in the house for that sitting, and I looked at the dynamic between Bradley and Alan, and more it appears to me that Bradley it's trying to show his frustration.
Yeah, like
his
they say, he getting degu. You know,
yeah, he getting degu.
Yeah.
But I was a bit confused at one point because there's a time when Shasney stood up on a point of order. I think it was the same time to rebut what Richard, I believe, said regarding the Tewa King.
The Tewa King,
so Bradley said,
which is the first time we heard of Tewa King, but other land, you know, apart from the DSH deal.
So I was trying to read the lyrics, but Bradley looked at me, saw the facial expression. Bradley looked at me and said something to the extent of, he looked like, did you see that? And Shasney's like, no. I said, well, get your ears squared up and say something. So there seems to be a dynamic a change in dynamic of how it appears that Bradley views Alan. And like I've always said about Bradley is my friend. I mean, he was a manager at Bank of Century when I was there. I've known him a very long time. But I will not discuss, I will give him a little power when we see him in public. But I will not discuss those things, the dynamics with him, or ask him about it yet. Maybe after the election, you know, when he's not bound by all these things. But there seems to be a power shift, and it seems to be representative of the frustration of the United Workers' Party with Alan Chastney. I don't think he has long left. He has long left. Maybe the next election, like I predicted, that's the end of it. I think that will completely destroy him.
Okay. Somebody sends a message saying McLeod's family are UWPs as far as I know. Be that as it may, which mother, which auntie, which godmother, which whatever it is, will retain their support for you to see you attacking, you know, and orchestrating the kind of attack and accusation that you're doing against their beloved family member and so on, the way you have gone. And that's the problem with Alan Chastney, you know. He doesn't see outside his immediate sniper scope of vendetta and so on. It's somebody that he wants to destroy. And so Alan does not stop and do the calculation, but Ernest may probably have, even though he went his own radical way, that he probably has a family in the background who have been fundamentally flambeau, or McLeod, you know, may have family members that for the most part have been flambeau. Is McLeod the young man, you know, maybe because of where he studied and so on, has come back with this kind of thing, or a personal friendship. He don't care with this kind of thing.
They are so crass. You know, probably they are so crass. They have no way of even couching it to not go after the person, but the position.
Yeah, the position and so on, you know. You know, is trying to totally destroy McLeod Emmanuel. And then what you do, you end up virtually ceding the communication strategy of your party to an individual who's known to have this kind of thing for very personal reasons, having to do with relationships or affairs that went bad, or somebody that you push yourself on and they rebuffed you, and so you think you're God's gift to men and this kind of thing, and so you hate them and you committed to destroying them.
God's gift
I'm
to
not
men.
God. I cannot sit in judgment to say who is beyond redemption. You know, the first century Christians, they may have looked at a man called Saul of Tarsus and say, this guy is going to hell for sure. Next thing they wake up and there was no man who was no passionate about the Christian cause than the Apostle Paul, the former Saul of Tarsus. You understand? So I can't say people will not change, but I am telling you, the degree of hatred, of vendetta, of vindictiveness that I see emanating unabated, you know, impenitently, it seems, from some people, I'm very afraid for them. I'm very afraid for them, but I still wish them the best. And in my moment of praise, I must bring myself to say a little prayer for them, because I have never seen this kind of single-minded tunnel vision, the hatred and vendetta, and I'm going to go after you, and I do not care.
The blind loyalty.
Yeah, exactly. I've just never seen. I've been annoyed with people, you know, for sure. There's some people I have some annoyance from. But to ever work myself up into that kind of passionate, I ain't seen, I ain't nothing is you I want to destroy, I have never, ever found that. And I pray to God, even publicly, which I do not do, you know, to people, to please do not let my soul come into the company of people such as that, you know. Don't become like them, even in the least bit. Migs, thank you very much for being here once again.
Someone asked that I pay here once a week.
Yeah,
Lou we'll think about it.
Like I said, I don't put that on you as a condition, because I know, you know, you have different commitments and things that you have to meet and so on. So whenever you're available, like I tell you, just a little call, a little message between us, and you're always welcome.
Not a problem.
Thank you very much, Jaquan, for another day and another week of, you know, doing a great job.
Eating into his time as well.
Yes, at the controls here and DJ Tikut, and we know now he's our regular evening news anchor now and so on, doing a good job, improving all the time, and he's always looking to see how he can become better at what he does. You know, thank you so very much, everyone, for another day, another week of The Real Issues. Have a good weekend. Stay safe. You know, keep yourself and keep others in consideration. And God willing, Monday, same time, from 12:30 to 2 p.m., where we do this again. Shelton Daniel signing out.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues.